Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of MIPrepper. We're going to talk about some common mistakes that I've noticed watching other YouTube videos and reading forum posts and just talking with other people that share an interest in this. And I keep seeing this come up and I feel I really need to address it. So these are not in any particular order, but I've got 5 of the biggest things that I've been seeing lately that just they need to be addressed. So we're going to address them here in this YouTube video. So let's get started. Number 1, buying food you don't eat or won't eat. Now, it kind of seems like common sense, but I hear preppers all the time talking about how they're going to put this or that in a bucket, but they've never eaten it or they don't know how to cook it. Which brings us into a whole nother discussion. If you can't cook the meal, why prep? Why store? Why preserve it? So when you're making your preps, it really makes a lot of sense to sit back a minute and really look at what is there out there. Sure, everybody can cook rice, can eat rice, but does it make sense to put certain things in your preps if no one in your family eats it? So it's just wasteful, or it takes up space. And if you have to get out, you bug out, it's going to be heavy. Weight is key. So, number 1, buying food you don't eat or won't eat. Stick to what you will. On top of that, make sure you know how to cook it. So before the event that you need it, figure out how to cook it. Make a dinner one night out of that. So that's number 1. Number 2, bug out bags. And I am guilty of this one. I'll admit it right now. If they're left at home, they're no good. While I was building my bug out bag, and it's still not done, I think it always is going through refinement, but I was leaving my bag on the floor here in my home office because I didn't have everything I wanted in it. And a couple of my buddies and I were discussing bug out bags, and they asked where I keep mine. And I had to tell them that, it's on my office floor. And we were out having dinner at a local pizza place. And I realized that even though it's not done, it should still be in the vehicle that I'm in. So from that point on, even if I'm in my wife's vehicle, I take and move it to that vehicle. So it always goes with me. Because it's not going to do us any good, even if it's partially done, laying on the floor at home if you're at work and you need it. So that's number 2. Make sure your bug out bags are actually going with you. It doesn't do us any good without it. And on top of that, find a bug out bag that doesn't scream bug out bag. If it looks extremely tactical or says bug out bag on it, people are going to know. But if you put it in a nice backpack, they might just think you're carrying a work bag. Keep it discreet. People don't have to know that that's your bug out bag. Moving on to number 3. Thinking money can make you prepared. I know it sounds kind of foolish. Obviously, you need some money to buy items, food, water, preps, tools, defense weapons. But just buying the item doesn't make you prepared. You still need to know how to use it. You still need the skill on how to use anything that you purchase. It doesn't do you any good if you buy it, put it in a box, and expect to use it when you need to. So just thinking that you can buy your way into preparedness is not the right way. Number 4, talking about your defenses, weapons, your preps, OPSEC. We have tons of videos on this. MIPrepper does a great job at this. Several other videos do it. You need to be careful who you're talking to, even family or friends, because they talk to other people. And you need to be careful about what you're telling them. If you tell them in one conversation that you're a prepper, but then the next time you tell them when you're talking about firearms that you have X amount of guns and, hundreds of thousands of rounds, what good does that do you? Now they know what you have. Same thing for food. You tell them that, yeah, I'm a prepper, and I have 6 years worth of food banked up. Well, where's the first place they're going to come if they need food in the event of an emergency? You know, they're going to come to you. Now, maybe you've already prepped for them, and that's okay. But that's something to keep in mind. You need to be careful what you're discussing with them. If you got plans to leave, be careful how you discuss that. So that's number 4. I'm not going to beat that one to death. Everybody talks about it, but it's still a common mistake that I see. Number 5, not training with your firearms or any other sort of weapon that you have. It's not going to do you any good if you can't hit the target now in a non-stressful situation. It's not going to do you any good if you don't know how to clear jam out of your firearm. It's not going to do you any good if you're not proficient at reloading the magazines or simply racking the next round into the firearm. Or if you choose to go melee, you know, not being able to throw a throwing knife or swing an axe isn't going to do you any good either. So we need to practice. We need to be proficient. If someone offers a course in your area, don't go in there thinking that you're better than them or know more. Go in there with an open mind. You never know what you might learn. Because when this all goes down, the adrenaline's going to be pumping, and you're not going to be able to hit anything if you already can't. You stand a better chance that if you practice nighttime, daytime, evening, you know, you practice all those scenarios, you have a much better chance. So those are the 5 common mistakes that I keep seeing, and I just needed to address it. So this is going to be a short video. I appreciate you guys hanging on. We're going to do a bunch more, so I hope to see you guys back here. And as always, comments below if you want. Thanks. Stay safe. Keep prepping.